Video. Today we're going to be talking about the new June GDK that Xbox just launched. So let's dive right into it. Microsoft gives Xbox Series S developers more memory to improve graphics performance, says The Verge. Microsoft is giving Xbox Series S game developers more control over memory on the console. A new Xbox software development kit has been released to developers recently, and it frees up more memory for developers to access for Xbox Series S games and boost performance in certain titles. Hundreds of additional megabytes of memory are now available to Xbox Series S developers, says Microsoft's game development team in a video detailing the updates, which is right here. This gives developers more control over memory, which can improve graphics performance in memory-constrained conditions. Now, up here, when it comes to hundreds of megabytes of memory, God knows how much. I think since they're saying hundreds, I expect like 350 megabytes. I would be surprised if they allowed or gave developers 500 megabytes of memory, and then if they give 900, then again I would not be surprised, because Windows 10 can actually run off of 1 gig of RAM with an SSD with no issues actually. So it will be mighty slow, but no issues. You could do basic browsing on 1 gig of RAM with the SSD. So anyway, let's get back to the subject. Hundreds of additional megabytes. Maybe it may increase graphics performance. It could. It really could. Because with shadows, high resolution shadows, I watched a video with someone else giving their take on this subject as well, and they displayed how much it's a guy on YouTube. He displayed on the benefits this could be in just high resolution textures alone, like 30 megabytes or 50 megabytes can just be a big difference when it comes to in-game graphics, such as high resolution textures at minimum takes about, not high resolution textures, but high resolution shadows. It only utilized about half of 100 megabytes, like 50 megabytes. That's it. And if they allowed 500 megabytes, that would be very, very reasonable in some breathing room. If it was 500 megabytes, we could possibly see 8% to 10% performance gains, but I'm really excited to see the performance increases, just to see what happens in the near future. Okay, down here, continuing this article, those memory constraints have been detailed by Digital Foundry, with developers reportedly feeling some pain around optimizing games for the Xbox Series S. It's less the CPU and GPU power, I'm surprised, of the Xbox Series S, particularly as the Xbox Series S has the same CPU as the X, but more the memory situation. Microsoft's improvements, a bit small, could help reduce some of that friction around developing games for Xbox Series S. Microsoft is also addressing an issue where graphics virtual addresses were being allocated considerably slower than non-graphics virtual addresses, which means Xbox games can now take better advantage of other recent memory enhancements that Microsoft has added to its Xbox developer tools. Fingers crossed, this all means we'll see some improvements to performance in some games running on Xbox Series S soon. I believe we might see performance gains. Now, like I said, we might see 8 to 10% performance gains, maybe even 15% performance gains. It might seem small, but in a technical standpoint, 8 to 10% performance gains is actually a big jump. So this could be a game changer for Xbox Series S, and it might influence people to buy the Xbox Series S. For example, if this could get games to, instead of it running at 1080p 30 FPS, we could possibly see games running at 1440p 30 FPS with ray tracing, or 1440p 60 FPS with ray tracing, or maybe, if possible, 1080p 120 FPS, no ray tracing, but 120 FPS, or maybe we might see high resolutions like 1600p or 1800p at 30 FPS with no ray tracing. That would just be like a resolution mode for like a high resolution mode. But we may see more modes in these games. Now, with Saints Row, the Saints Row remake that just launched recently, not too long ago, less than a week ago actually, they were downright lazy with the game. They did not properly optimize. From what I saw, they just gave the Xbox Series S the lowest resolution mode from the PS5 or Xbox Series X, or yeah, just one of the lowest resolution modes. And just from what I saw, just looked through. I guess the developers just looked through and saw which one works best for the console and called it a day. Just lower the resolution and stuff. And that was just downright lazy. They did not properly optimize the game. They did not optimize the hardware. They did not optimize They definitely did not utilize the new memory enhancements. But, you know, games now take up to 5 to 7 years to produce. So, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but that was a very, 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 very bad move that the developers did with Saints Row. But when it comes to optimization, but I believe in the near future, when games launch, such as, you know, Starfield or the new Forza Motorsport, instead of us seeing 1080p 60 with ray tracing and all the other modes, we might be seeing 1440p 30 FPS with intense motion blur with ray tracing, or 1080p 60 FPS as usual, or a dynamic 1080p up to 120 FPS. So it's so many things that could happen, maybe even more, like maybe 1440p 60 FPS in the new Forza Motorsport with ray tracing on Xbox Series S. We could see that. So this should definitely give developers some breathing room and definitely relieve stress off of these developers to make it easier for them to optimize. I'm looking at you, Dying Light 2. But I believe I could see performance increases and performance improvements. But thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. If you are new to the channel, please take out the time to subscribe. And if you are not new to the channel and you're coming back, take out the time to like or comment down below your take. Thank you for watching.